The distress beacon pierced through the void of space like a dying star's final gasp. Ambassador Anna of the Caltharian Confederation stared at the holographic display with trembling hands, her crystalline skin reflecting the red emergency lights that bathed the command center. "How long until the Dravix Armada reaches our homeworld?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. 72 hours, Ambassador," replied Commander Vex, his 4 eyes dimming with resignation. "Our fleet was decimated at the Outer Rim. We have nothing left to stop them." Anna's mind raced back 3 centuries, to a time when her people had been explorers rather than refugees. The Caltharians had discovered Earth during humanity's infancy in space, travel a small blue planet barely reaching beyond its own moon. The humans had been struggling with a massive asteroid on a collision course with their world, their primitive nuclear weapons insufficient to alter its trajectory. The Caltharian science vessel, under the command of Anna's great-grandmother, had intervened. Using their advanced graviton beam technology, they had effortlessly diverted the asteroid, saving billions of human lives. The grateful humans had offered what little they could samples of their art, music, and literature. The Caltharians had accepted graciously, never expecting anything in return from such a young species. They were so fragile back then, Anna murmured to herself, remembering the historical records. So naive and hopeful. "Ambassador?" Vex prompted. Anna straightened her posture. "Send a message to all known spacefaring civilizations. If we're going to die, let the galaxy know what the Dravix have done." As Vex moved to comply, a junior officer burst through the entrance. "Ambassador, we're receiving an incoming transmission, multiple signatures appearing at the system's edge." Anna's heart sank. The Dravix had arrived early dot, but the tactical display told a different story. The signatures were wrong. These weren't Dravix destroyers. They were hundreds of ships, thousands, an armada that dwarfed even the Dravix fleet. "Patch through the transmission," Anna commanded. The hologram flickered, and a human face appeared. He was young, perhaps in his 30s by human standards, with sharp eyes and a confident smile. He wore the uniform of the Terran Federation, adorned with insignia that suggested high military rank. "This is Fleet Admiral Alexander Chun of the Terran Federation Navy, commanding the 1st Expeditionary Fleet. Ambassador Anna, I believe your people once helped ours in a time of great need. We've come to return the favor." Anna felt her legs weaken. "Admiral ... humanity? But you were barely exploring your own system when we last. That was 300 years ago." "Ambassador," Alexander interrupted gently, "we've come a long way since then. Your intervention bought us time to grow, to learn, to become something more. When we intercepted your distress call, well, humanity has a long memory for kindness." The tactical display updated in real time. The human fleet was massive carriers the size of small moons, battleships bristling with weapons technology that made even Caltharian sensors struggle to classify them. Fighter craft swarmed in perfect formation, their numbers beyond counting. "Admiral, the Dravix fleet is the most powerful military force in this sector," Anna warned. "They've conquered 17 systems in the last decade. Our own fleet was considered formidable, and they destroyed us in a matter of hours." Alexander's expression didn't change. "Ambassador, with all due respect, you're thinking in terms of conventional warfare. Humanity learned long ago that survival requires ... innovation, and we've had 3 centuries to get creative." The Dravix Armada emerged from hyperspace 20 hours later, their massive warships blotting out distant stars. The Dravix Admiral, a towering reptilian creature named Scrax, immediately broadcast his standard ultimatum: surrender or face extinction. Alexander's response was simple: no. What followed would be recorded in galactic history as the Battle of Caltharia Prime. Though most species would come to call it by another name, The day humanity said, no, the human ships moved with impossible precision, their quantum processors coordinating attacks across three-dimensional space in patterns that Dravix couldn't predict. Railguns firing projectiles at relativistic speeds tore through Dravix shields like paper. Directed energy weapons, powered by captured microsingularities, carved enemy dreadnoughts into molecular debris, but it was humanity's drone swarms that truly astonished the galaxy. Millions of autonomous fighters, each no larger than a human fist, descended upon the Dravix fleet like a metallic plague. They infiltrated enemy ships through exhaust ports, weapon barrels, and damaged hull sections, systematically disabling critical systems from within. The Dravix, who had conquered world after world through superior firepower and ruthless tactics, found themselves facing an enemy that had weaponized evolution itself. Every strategy they employed, the human AI learned and countered within minutes. Every formation they tried, the drones adapted and exploited. Admiral Scrax's flagship was the last to fall, crippled but intact, a deliberate mercy from Alexander, who believed even conquerors deserved the chance to witness their defeat. Anna watched from the command center, tears streaming down her crystalline face. Around her, the Keltharian staff stood in stunned silence. Why? She asked when Alexander's face appeared on the come again. Why risk so much for us? You owe us nothing. That debt was paid long ago. Alexander smiled, and in that smile, Anna saw something that explained everything, the reason humanity had risen so far, so fast. It wasn't just their technology or their tactical brilliance, it was their memory, their refusal to forget kindness, their stubborn insistence that debts of gratitude never expired. Ambassador, 300 years ago, your people saved our world when you had nothing to gain from it. You taught us that mercy and compassion weren't weaknesses. They were the highest forms of strength. Alexander's eyes held a warmth that transcended species. We're not here because we owed you a debt. We're here because that's what good neighbors do. That's what friends do. Anna understood then. Humanity hadn't just survived their brush with extinction. They had learned from it, grown from it, and emerged as something the galaxy had never seen before. A species that measured its strength not by what it could destroy, but by what it chose to protect. The Terran Federation fleet remained in orbit for 3 months, helping the Keltharians rebuild their defenses and sharing technology that would ensure they'd never be vulnerable again. When they finally departed, they left behind more than just weapons and shields. They left behind hope. And across the galaxy, word spread. Humanity remembers. Humanity returns. And if you showed them kindness once, they would cross the stars to stand beside you when darkness came calling.